organized and focused. I hope that didn't get sucked down in there. And it looks like maybe, you know, this is such a shicey, shitty setup on that. It actually could have sucked some debris down in there, I guess. That's enough. That's enough. That probably could have hung something up. There's no doubt about that. I was trying to think where I want to my plan of attack here, and if I want to go and pull the valve cover, I can pull the valve cover. I just wanted to see the top of the breather here too. So we're gonna pull the cover and look at the breather. Nice thing about that John Deere is they got the built-in cup bolt holder. Yeah, spent a lot of time working on. Hi, where did I go with my automatic cup holder? Built-in cup holder there. Bolt, nut and bolt holder, parts holder. Yeah. I'm gonna note here too is that it looks a little funny on the front end. There's I don't know what that is, like a stain or what. The breather does have a little bit of caking around it. The bad thing about the breather having caking around it is that in order to get to the breather, you got to pull the flywheel. Oh, my vey. So, first things first, we're going to do the leak down test then. We'll leak down on both sides, and then we'll go from there. I'm going to test the ignition coil too on this side first, just to make sure it's not a bad ignition coil. That's you can see the oil spitting up in here. Definitely a mixture of oil and grease in there, or oil and gas. So I don't want to get too carried away with pulling the carburetor off yet. just until we can try to see if we can identify that there's actually something going on in the cylinder. If the cylinder's got a leak in it, hopefully it's just a head gasket and it's not valve piston rings, I mean, or yeah. Without even doing a whole lot there. Gurgle, 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 huh? So, yeah. Try this. Looking for my, highly recommend these. So that noise that I hear there, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I hear it. Almost sounds like this plastic cover. you know the drill. Anybody's done this before. And horrible freight. Good gravy. Got some good compression. There's no doubt about that. There. I should have probably, there's, I guess it's probably right when that's lined up with the coil, but we'll do it the old-fashioned way, and see if we can find my file, or just take a well, can't really feel it that well, so I think it's there. Like I said, it's most likely going to be, well, that's where it's supposed to be, but that doesn't mean that it's correct. Very weird how these get rusted out too. So then we're gonna have to, oh shit. Yeah, thank you. Yep, automatic collector of sorts, but you had to let me spill it all out over the floor, because of course that's my circumstance. What's your sign? And everybody's out mowing their lawns, and I can hear. I can. Here, I have to get the it sounds like head gasket. So we're going head gasket. While we're at it, let's test the other side. have to figure out I gotta figure out how to hold that. What is that? Is that a breather? I guess I'm gonna have to pull the flywheel and yeah, to pull that breather, because it's on both sides. And about the same area. It definitely sounds heavier on this side. And maybe, and I can't hear anything. So I put that outside. I do hear it on this side though too, in about the same area, so maybe it is that breather. We're gonna pull that breather. I guess we'll pull the flywheel off and look at the breather. As you can see how carbon filled that intake is compared to that intake. That intake is pretty clean. This one's bad. So I think we'll probably, I mean, I'll probably, I hate to replace both head gaskets, but I'm already this far. And like I said, I mean, I don't know if really can't get a good shot of that, but that one over there has definitely got a lot more carbon in it. Carbon fouled. And I'm still a little concerned about this breather, because if you blow into it, when you suck, it's pretty sure that it's supposed to seal, at least give you some resistance, and I don't have any resistance out of that. Even with the gasket on top, this guy should, you know, and I had this off and I stuck my finger in there, try to pull it, so I feel like there's a leak somewhere else here too. I'm gonna have to really concentrate on this and figure out what's going on. It's here, but I did get lucky. I snapped off a shield bolt here. That was nice. Thankfully it wasn't a head bolt. Trying to get it the hell out. I mean, it's just, I don't really see an imminent failure. It is interesting how this did fall apart here. I mean, I guess you could say it was probably more at the top here. Yeah, I mean, maybe weak enough up in there. I mean, you can. It's definitely worn. I just, you know, I don't know. You could hear it leaking out of there. We'll clean it up. We'll get new gaskets on it. My suspicion is that it's the gaskets. You can see how carbon filled that one is. These these John Deeres are kind of a pain in the butt because you got to remove the whole muff can in order to go ahead and do any work to it. But I definitely don't see an issue where I would say it was a cylinder. Although we are getting, you know, there was oil. Was oil sitting in there. Let's just let's take this. Let's take this down all the way and just look at the condition of the cylinder. I mean, you can definitely see there's a wear. There's a pretty big wear mark on that. I have a feeling that, let's just can I find my light? Probably not. Can you find any light? Probably not. Even with a tiny garage, I still can't find crap. I mean, definitely had an intake. There was definitely an intake leak there. Either way, I mean, you can't see it. You definitely could smell it. And it definitely was weak in these areas here. So, I just kind of would have expected this head gasket to last a little bit longer. Let's see if it'll allow me to unlock this. So we can use a flashlight on this to look in here. And you can kind of see all along the bottom there. See how that, that's a pretty big wear mark there. You can see, yeah, I mean, well, I'm gonna put a head gasket back on it. I definitely knew this cylinder was problematic. I'm gonna do one head gasket. I think we'll get a breather gasket too. I don't think the breather's bad, but I don't want to start pulling on this head over here because this head doesn't look too terrible. I mean, you can see a little carbon buildup in there. This one had, you know, if you look at the, you know, the intake valve on this, or the exhaust valve. Hang on here. It was, what was that? Heard a beep beep beep. 27% already, huh? I know you can't really see very well, but the intake on this one really is carboned up, and we'll clean that up. I mean, we'll get a seal. I'll get a seal kit for that too. We'll pull that spring and see if we can get this thing to have enough compression in it to not backfire and carry on like that. So, all right. Lovely post nasal drip. We bought a EC2250 e-torque, cheap digital. This was supposed to be 3/8 torque wrench. I had to buy some new valve lapping hopefully I can find my valve lapping compound. Sorry, I got easily distracted here. There should be. We needed this though because we're doing 2 mowers here at the same time that both have some funny issues with head gaskets. Box, but you can see that head gasket is damaged a little bit around the top there. It'll be all right. I am waiting for, I think we'll be all right. That's an updated version. I am waiting for I gotta do the intake seals as well. I bought 2 intake seals, So this E-Torque 3/8 digital drive. Guess I should have bought a 1/4 inch one. I just figured the 3/8 would probably be the best. And we'll start with the, see that? I don't know if you can see that, but there's some weird goop in there too. I'll throw this back up. We're done with that for the minute. This is the left side. And, yeah, I'll tell you how I break my, laughing sticks. And I break them because when I go ahead and close my drawers, I slam them in between. Not on purpose, but it's when this is how I do it. I mean, I don't want to put too much on, but I just put a nice little coat all the way around. Just figure, some people probably just slap the head on, slap a head gasket on, put the valves back in, do the lash and call it a day. But I figure if we're at it, might as well go all the way, And try not to get too much down inside. And I wet it with my tongue. I'll spit. Again, like I said, I'm replacing the yeah, probably gonna go with a smaller one. So yeah, let's take a seat here. A couple ways I do this. I'm not sure what you can see. I hurt my scar. I have some nerve damage there. Came up too high. You don't want to put too much downward pressure. You just want to. I know some guys are like, "Could you put it on the back of the drill and stuff?" But I don't have a valve head cutter. I don't really, if you start doing that kind of stuff, to me, you might as well buy new heads and new valves, and call it a day. Again, my concern is actually with this exhaust valve on this one. And you want to lift it up every once in a while and just kind of spin it. And pop this head gasket on here and this head back on here after tightening it all up. Part of my concern is if you look down in here, you can really see that wear on the inside of the cylinder. I think you can see that. There's some defects too on the head itself. At the top here, you can see at the top of the casting. I don't know if you can see where my finger's at there, but yeah, some issues there. And it's kind of a stupid setup too. If you look, all that dirt comes right in there. It's open to the bottom of the elements and stuff. So we're gonna button it up though. I got like 28 minutes left to record, so I'm gonna try to do it in steps here. So I'll try to shed a little light on here. The top of this exhaust valve, I don't know if you can see that or not, probably not, and I guess it won't focus on it, but the top of that exhaust valve has some wear on it. It's shining right into that. I thought I was hoping that it would offer a little bit more of a better view, but this exhaust valve definitely has quite a bit of wear on it. And then the intake valve doesn't look terrible, but doesn't look great either. The inside of this valve or this head doesn't look too overly beat up. We'll lap the valves and whatnot. Let's go take a look at this cylinder bore and see if it looks as bad. Yeah, this cylinder bore doesn't look as bad, but you can see there's a wear groove on the bottom there. Usually that's an indication that there's metal or debris caught in the rings. We're not re-ringing this. We're not reboring it. We're just going to try to stop the intake leak so that it stops backfiring. And you know, this one doesn't. I mean, right here. I mean, you get a little wear. I don't know if you can see that. You know, I could suck air in there, I guess, but I don't see a major failure, but it definitely was failing. So we're gonna clean this up and get it back together. The right, I don't know what you can hear. The right cylinder, the head gasket's cleaned up. Head gasket surface, I should say. Getting ready to lap. We'll get ready to lap these valves here in a minute. A couple nicks here and there too, you know. Part of the casting process. I don't get it. I don't know. I see. I'm gonna remove my respirator. I see these marks in almost every make, and doesn't matter if it's Kawasaki Kohler or Briggs & Stratton. Not sure what happens to the process that they get like that, but they do. So we're gonna lap the valves and put this thing back together. Clean these up. The exhaust valve still has a little bit of a burr on it. Not a whole lot I'm going to be able to do about that without replacing exhaust valves. And the intake valve doesn't look terrible, but definitely has some besides the schmutz left on it from the Gorilla Tape. Well, I got it to clean up pretty good. Definitely was getting hot. You can see it's hot, and it was hot. So we'll lap these up and then put it together. I think I mentioned this already, how I managed to break these when I go to shut my drawers and stuff. They're not all the way down, and I end up busting them in half. Yep, my sucker came off. We won't waste the last 10 minutes watching this. Maybe. Could be blurry, I'm not sure what we're seeing. Not sure how this GoPro focuses, but you can see the seats lapped pretty well on both sides. So, and then inside we'll spray this with a brake cleaner, hose it out with some air, and then continue on our way. The valve guide seals on both sides, and what I do here is I just I can't do it with one hand here, but I'm gonna lube the inside with a little fresh engine oil, and then just slide it on there. If you need to press it on, you can use a socket that just fits around the diameter. You just want to be certain that you don't smash that little spring down, but you don't want to bang it around too hard. And just push them on there. This is a Kawasaki genuine part, Cow 9204749 7001. Flash that on here. So 25 newton meters. I'm 25.15 because I don't know how accurate this guy is. And 25.05 or 19 foot-pounds. And we're going in the torque order that is prescribed here. And I number the bolts just to give me an idea. So we're going to, I already did it at 10. Even though it doesn't tell you to do it at 10, I do it at 10 so I get even pressure around the entire gasket. So we're going to go to 2 here, which is on the bottom. Two, 3, which is on the top. 4, which is on this side of the bottom. And then 5, which is this guy here. So we'll double check them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's that process. Kohler does it a little bit differently. Kohler asks that you reuse or not reuse, buy new head bolts. Kawasaki did not ask that of me, but we'll keep going forward with this, and then we're going to rotate the engine 2 times before I start slapping the valve covers on and putting this back together. But I think that we're about there. We're getting close. While we're at it as well, the difficult part is here trying to get all the dirt out of there. Now I had it covered with some Gorilla Tape, but there was definitely some dirt in here. I think what we'll do is try to sop some of that oil up out of the. We'll use our new clean rag too here. Sop up some of that oil on the bottom so I don't spritz myself in the eyeballs with or squirt oil all over the inside here. And then I think what we'll do is Just set this to the side. Let's grab another clean rag. Really wish I had just a wash machine for recycling rags, because usually I just end up throwing these out, but I think we're done with that today. And then this was an OEM part too. I mean, if I can, I try to buy Sten's parts or other aftermarket parts, but guess I should have washed my hands a little bit first. I gotta find the cover plate, because I did clean that and then I got distracted, and here it is. So let's yeah, I don't know, just something I do. Besides the fact that I had a spot there, just take a little and paint the corners and stuff outside, because it just makes it easier for somebody else that comes along when they try to replace it. I need to go crazy, but let's see if I can get that off there. Specifically the corners, because that's where the gasket wants to stick when you're applying pressure, and then heat and stuff like that. It just makes it a little bit of a pain in the butt to remove. So someone else comes along should be happy that they won't have the same hot mess I had when I was pulling it apart. So yeah, if I can get the screws in there now. They were longer. They belong there. I'm gonna have to go and look too. I think this is 7 Newton meters, but honestly, I just tighten them till they're tight, and then don't over tighten them, because I need to Don't need a whole lot of pressure on there, but those will hold. And let me tighten those up and continue forward. So the valve cover, or the blah blah blah, and the blah blah, the blah. It's been a long day. Blah 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 blah. I'm gonna rotate it, make sure that my rockers are working right, my push rods aren't jammed up, and that the valves are opening and closing. And then we're gonna go and we're gonna adjust the valves. And I think the valve clearance on these was 0.005, but they all are. Between 0.003 and 0.005. So we'll say that the intake is supposed to be 0.003 and the exhaust is supposed to be 0.005, or in between, I should say, when cold. And it looks like 6.9 newton meters. Valve clearance should be 0.003 and 0.005 when cold. Get all the silver crap off me. The top end here, the ignition coils, it's supposed to be 5 for ignition coil bolts that are flanged bolts. It's supposed to be 5.9 newton meters, and for stud bolts, and this is not stud bolts, these are flanged bolts, it is 7.8. The coil gap here is supposed to be between 0.008 and 0.16. I learned a trick a while back, and if you take an a spark plug box and you fold it in half, I should say not fold it in half necessarily, but so there's a little bit of drag there, and I'm more interested in the coil here. We could widen that out a little bit, but and I always check them here. You really want to make sure, and then here. I think I'm gonna widen these up a little bit. They just they feel a little bit too tight for my comfort. I think we're just gonna go at 1. And the reason I say that is I don't want them to get hot and then wobble and then crack into the fly or the flywheel. Yeah, because that's about as dumb as it gets. Let's put, you know, studs on the, or towers on the top of the yeah, whatever. So we're gonna widen these up. Yeah. And they give you a process for this too. You're supposed to start on one side and then move to the other side. Yeah, so it ain't gonna fucking work that way. That's why I like the box. What'd I do with the box? I always try to use these to do that, and they never work out quite the way I want them to. It's hard to do it with a magnet, you know. Yeah, this is already set. Now we're way too far out. But we will do this then. So that was 0.1. I just feel more comfortable with the air gap being wider. 0.1, 0.12. About 0.14. Yeah, see, look, stinker. Struggle's real. 0.01. Let's go with 0.09. I had it dialed in there the first time very well. I should have probably left it alone. That's why the cardboard trick. Wish I had a business card. I don't have a business card, do I? Can I use my Mason's card? Well, that's good till so good. I gotta find something to fit in there. Or the breather gasket was replaced as well on this. The exhaust flanges, flange gaskets were replaced as well. I'm not going to do the intake gaskets, even though they could be replaced. I might put a little bit of RTV around it, but we're just trying to save some money here, I guess, at this point. And you know, there isn't a whole lot there that we need to really account for. It's not, the seals aren't broken on the outside. They tore a little bit out at the legs, but you know, I think we'll be all right. And yeah, I'm not worried about an exhaust leak, or I mean a manifold leak, but we'll spread just a tiny bit of RTV around those to kind of hopefully help. Oh my gosh, I think it locked up. It did. just to help seal it. Or, I know, it looks like a lot more than it really is. I promise you. And this way, when someone else takes it off, they're all angry and they have to replace it. And that was my goal. Probably should just pull the cap off. It's very cold. Realistically, these should be replaced every time. But, like I said, not overly concerned about it at this point. More worried about whether or not we got that pesky head gasket straightened out there. And this is probably one of those scenarios where everything looks like crap anyway. So tighten these up and go from there. That my mechanical aptitude was sufficient enough to allow this thing to spin. I'm going to spin it once before putting anything in it, and then I'm going to spray it. Yeah, I think we're good. The mufflers are off there, obviously, but yeah, that's all the further we're going with it right now. And yeah, I probably should have removed that bolt earlier, but yeah, we'll keep moving forward here. I think we're good. We have compression on both sides now, and that was just a test to make sure it was firing. Woke the fuel system back up and hope for the best. I don't think I'm gonna get too excited about. I might try to fish some of this debris out of here. There was quite a bit of debris in there. I even replaced the fuel pump on this thing, so we'll figure it out though. For today. Left cylinder in this unit's bad. I'm not sure which cylinder is bad in this unit yet, but you can hear it when you engage the deck under load. It will stall out, and if you pull the exhaust cap, you get a little bit of white smoke out of it. What I did notice is it looks like somebody smeared copper RTV on this cylinder. I'm sorry if it's dark there. I guess we can turn on another light and maybe shed a little more light on the back side of that. So it looks like somebody may have already been in this one. What we're gonna do is do a leak down test on both cylinders on this one. We'll do a leak down test on the left cylinder on this one, because I've identified that one as fouling and oil fouled, and yeah, it's just sorry for the bounce along. I'm not into production editing. Other people got time to go ahead and do production editing. I don't know how the hell they got time to do that. Maybe they got somebody else in their cavalry to, yeah, I won't get a real spark plug, or at least a socket on there. Cavalry to do that kind of crap, but I don't have time for that. Ew. And of course, it's that time of season, you know. Everybody is looking to get their mowers worked on. And my dog's dead, and somebody let their dog shit in my yard, so just ran over it with a mower, and I'm not very happy about that, but what the heck is going on here? Yeah. And I had replaced, I just put brand new spark plugs in here. And of course it was right after I serviced it, so you know, I think you saw my previous video on that. I wanted to shut the door though because Painted Skyway is very busy this morning with the cut through traffic. That doesn't look too terrible, actually. I mean, it doesn't look great, but it's carbon fouled now, so let's pull the other side, even though I thought I identified that side as being the problem. I mean, I did go to public school, so, you know, it's hard for me to differentiate left and right, but yeah, that one's a lot cleaner than the left one, huh? You can definitely see a little bit of difference there. Set these over yonder. Yeah, and he'd only put like I don't know. I hadn't put very many hours on it, but let me grab the key for it.